Today I'm going to be showing you how to get some balls. Golf balls to be exact. Get your mind out of the gutter. So I know most of you guys already know what Ascendant Shards are, but for new players coming in, brief explanation. Ascendant Shards are endgame materials that you use to upgrade your armor and masterwork them, give them bonus stats, particularly exotic armor, which costs 3 Ascendant Shards, and legendary armor costing 1 Ascendant Shard. So essentially you would upgrade it to 10, and from going from 9 to 10 you get a bonus of 2 points per stat for the masterwork. So it's kind of valuable when it comes to endgame builds. Like for example, as you see, I have 100, 100, 100 for my build, discipline, recov, and resilience. Obviously a big factor of that is the stats on the armor, but masterworking also goes a long way considering you masterwork 4 armor pieces plus a class item. So, brief explanation out of the way, let's get started with how you get the Ascendant Shards. First up is the easy one, let's just get it out of the way. Rahul sells Ascendant Shards. Of course, this costs you a hefty amount, costs you 10 enhancement prisms, then a particular currency that he sells on a rotation, and then 50,000 glimmer. So, if you're a veteran player, you probably have prisms all the time, and this is a good way to spend them because they're almost useless other than upgrading from 8 to 10 on armor. So if you have 50 just, laying around, use it on that. But it does require a lot of currency. If you don't have currency stacked up, like me right here with Barium Bows, then, you kind of out of luck. For new players, obviously, this is not a choice because they're new, so they don't have any of these materials stocked up. So this is kind of just a veteran option. Moving on, let's go to the next easy one, which is Banshee. Now, Banshee is a reward track vendor, but he doesn't work the same way as Zavala, Shax, or Drifter does. So for him, the way to upgrade his track is through dismantling gear and doing his daily bounties. Now, dismantling gear, I'm not going to go and explain that because it's just dismantle. But his daily bounties are extremely easy, and you can get all 3 characters done in a matter of 10 minutes in a day, and it gives rep for each bounty that you do. So I would focus on this because it gives you a chance at an Ascendant Alloy or an Ascendant Shard for your first upgrade track of the season for Banshee. This also works the same way for the other vendors. So speaking of the other vendors, moving on. So Zavala, Shax, and Drifter pretty much fall into the same category as far as the first upgrade rank of the season goes. All of them will have an Ascendant Shard right here instead of the exotic at the end of the reward track for your first full reset of the season. But I want to focus on Zavala specifically because he's the best of the 3. So you can get Crucible and Gambit done once and then leave that alone. For Zavala, you can do a kind of little 2-for-1 when it's double Vanguard rep for the week. So what you could do is you want to get that reward track done and get the Ascendant Shard from him for the season. So what you can do is you can launch the Nightfall, whatever it may be for that particular week, and it happens to be double rep. So at the same time, you can farm out double rep from that as well as farming whatever the Nightfall weapon is for the week, as well as on top of that, if you're doing GMs, you could be farming an Ascendant Shard every single time, every single run in a GM because it's guaranteed that you get at least 1 GM. And if it's double loot for Nightfalls in that particular week, then you get more than 1 Ascendant Shard. Also, as an added bonus, you can just stack up a bunch of engrams that you get along the way for something like the Vanguard Bow with Incandescent, for example. Now, speaking on Grandmasters, like I just mentioned, you get a guaranteed Ascendant Shard by completing Grandmasters, and for this season, Fallen Saber and Disgraced happen to be the 2 easiest ones to get. But also, honestly, everything outside of like Lightblade and maybe Glasswave for some people, you could farm any of the other GMs this season for Ascendant Shards fairly quickly. So that will be Fallen Saber, Disgraced, Exodus Crash, or Devil's Lair, and you can go through them at a moderate pace. Let's say Fallen Saber would be like 8 minutes, and then the highest would be something maybe like 15 to 18 minutes for Devil's Lair if you're going at a slow pace. Now, I do want to bring up the fact that you can get Ascendant Shards from Master Nightfalls. However, you should know that the drop rate for them in Master Nightfalls is significantly lower. Well, I mean, significantly lower being that GMs are guaranteed, and Master being that they're probably like a 10% drop rate, maybe 20 at best. They're not very high, but if you're, a player that didn't grind out their artifact for the season, then you're not high enough to do GMs, or, maybe you don't have people that want to farm GMs, then Master Nightfalls could be your thing too, just at not a guaranteed drop rate. Now, while GMs might give you a guaranteed shard, not everybody likes to do negative 25 power level content, so let's talk about the other in-game options that you can do to farm out Ascendant Shards. So first up is Master Raids. King's Fall, you can farm out, I believe, 1 character per run per week, and happen to get an Ascendant Shard on Master difficulty. However, for the weekly Rotator Master raids, you can actually farm for as long as you want on any encounter that you want. So, for example, Vow Disciple, let's say you want to farm Rolk for maybe spoils. You can also farm it out for the exotic weapon, Collected Obligation, and you could also try to get Ascendant Shards from that. Same thing applies to Vault of Glass. Maybe you want to farm out Fatebringer, and you want to bully Templar because it's the easiest encounter for Master Vault. You can try to get Ascendant Shards from that as well. The encounter takes a couple of minutes. Not a big deal. It's a solid option. Now, let's talk about the best option out of all of them in terms of just bang for your buck, basically. Master Duality, in my opinion, is by far the best farm in the game in terms of just giving you lots of good stuff. So you can get Ascendant Shards, you can get Red Border weapons, get a Red Border Fixed Dod. That gun, by the way, is nuts. You can also get insanely godly armor, almost guaranteed every single run. Now, you might not get the stats that you want every single run, but you'll get ridiculous stats on your armor. You are guaranteed to get at least 1 plus 20 stat on every armor piece that you get in every run on Master Duality, and the best part is you can farm Keitel and just get at least 1 armor piece guaranteed every single run. So you just farm out lots of great armor while also trying to get your Ascendant Shards, and also Master Duality, while at a high light level requirement, is not like GMs where it'll lock you out at -25. So if you happen to have, gotten your artifact up plus 15, plus 20, whatever it may be, then you're just good to go solid in there, and you'll take some damage, but not nearly as much damage as you would take doing like Lightblade GM at -25. I highly recommend that you do Keitel or GMs, one or the other, for your Ascendant Shards. But, if you're not an endgame player, you happen to be a casual player, you can't play too much, you don't have the light level, you don't have the people for it, then you could just do the other routes of Vanguard playlist, vendors, etc. All up to you, personal preference. But either way, oh, I almost forgot. F those stupid effing bells and that stupid rhino beep for always killing us through bugs. Smile. I'm sure people can relate. That is the video. Hopefully this helps you guys get your Ascendant Shards before Season of Plunder ends. Going into next season, who knows? Maybe we'll need them more than before. I wouldn't hold my breath, but, who knows? We'll see. That's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, share, subscribe if you did. All that good stuff. It does help the channel. Also, stream daily on Twitch. Link in the description for that. Catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.